Hey folks, everything new under the sun. There will come a point in time where either my channel gets taken down or I simply go gray man, and I have to for the safety of myself or my family, whatever it may be. And hopefully you've been able to gather the resources to find your own information on Bible prophecy, what's going on, and have an understanding on how to read between the lines and read both sides of an issue, left, right, whatever it may be, and find the truth in there when you basically set it up and put it beside the Word of God as it relates to things happening in the last days. This raptureready.com, raptureready.com is a page you can go to, and there's just so many links that you can go to related to Bible prophecy, all the things happening in the last days. Just a lot of like facepalm articles there about the lawlessness in the last days, temple sacrifices, Israel, a lot of just the sin and the way the world is going. A lot of good articles in here. And I encourage you to kind of just read the headlines and, look into articles, but this will just give you a heads up as to kind of the state of the world and where it's going and what that biblically significant and prophetically significant news is. Zero Hedge, of course, is another one that I like to go to. It just shows you what is happening in the world, the signs of the times, prophetically speaking. But it's all facepalm stuff. It's all stuff, that you can go read for yourself, and it really does speak for itself in terms of the way the world is going. Let's take a look at this. A couple of articles I want to just take a quick look at here. This is Zero Hedge. U.S. lifts 10-year weapon ban on Ukraine's neo-Nazi Azov brigade. Folks, the West has now joined forces with the Nazis. I think you can say that now going forward. We'll see if my video gets taken down for that. U.S. State Department on Tuesday announced that it is lifting a long-time ban on giving weapons and training to Ukraine's notorious Azov brigade, known as the Azov Battalion. Do Washington policymakers think enough time has passed that people have simply forgotten that this is an unabashed neo-Nazi outfit? This is where we are in the world. This is where they are in Ukraine. They have no fighters left. So they're going to soon release all the criminals from jail and send all those to the front lines if they haven't already. Maybe they have. But now they're directly providing weapons to Nazi sympathizers. And this is exactly what Putin has been saying. The fact that there are Nazi factions in Ukraine and that they are trying to take them out, basically. That's what Putin said this war was about. And, go figure, the West is now supplying weapons to this Nazi brigade. So, I mean, incredible. It's just, what can you say about that? Zero Hedge, another one. U.S. wants to create a hellscape of drones if China attacks Taiwan. Now, the first thing this thought to me, or brought to my thoughts, is that what would this look like in real life if a hellscape of drones was coming across the Taiwan Strait at China? Well, it might look like a cloud of drones. Does the Bible say anything about clouds in the last days coming into Israel? It absolutely does. Ezekiel 38 speaks of the enemies like coming like a cloud. And I think this is exactly what it is referring to. It says, Admiral Samuel Papero, the head of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, told the Post columnist Josh Rogan that the idea would be to send thousands of drones, unmanned submarines, drone boats into the strait to buy time for the U.S. and Taiwan to prepare defense of the island. I want to turn the Taiwan Strait into an unmanned hellscape using a number of classified capabilities. So apparently maybe they have these capabilities already. Maybe they can send clouds of these, drones basically into these theaters of war. And that's interesting. The question is, what does the U.S. have that Russia hasn't seen yet, for example, in the Ukraine theater? And there could be a lot of technology coming out that we just simply haven't heard about. But it says, so that I can make their lives utterly miserable for a month, which buys me time for the rest of everything. So that's an interesting comment. But again, going back to the idea of, what would drones look like in the sky? We're starting to see the proliferation of the use of drones on the battlefield, robots, because they're cheaper than humans, right? And you don't have to have a human die. And certainly in Ukraine, they're running out of humans to throw at the front lines. So they're using drones as much as they can. But here's where it states about it. In Ezekiel 38, this is the Gog-Magog war. And it says in verse 16, let's start up here. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus saith the Lord God, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely. Now, are they safe right now? They are not. So this is not speaking of right now, because Hezbollah is raining down rockets in Israel right now, and of course there's a big battle in Gaza. They are not safe right now. So I think this is yet future. So Israel dealt safely, shall thou not know it. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, Russia, Turkey, could it be Turkey? Or those other, Baltic states there. Thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses and great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land, as a cloud. And it shall be in the latter days. So again, on this 6,000-year timeline of the return of the Lord, and 7,000 actually, with the last 1,000 being the millennial reign of Christ, the latter days would be the past 2,000 years. You notice that it says days, latter days. That would be two. That would have to be at least two for a days plural, and therefore after the death of Jesus, that this last 2 days or 2,000 years started. And it shall be in the latter days, it says, the last 2,000 years, and I will bring them against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes. So God's going to show his power at some point, and this group, this company, mighty army coming from the north parts, north countries, whatever they may be, are coming as a cloud to cover the land. Is this the use of drone technology in the last days? And honestly, folks, when you read this and you look at the technology of what they want, they're saying, what they want to do, and even what they're using in Ukraine in huge numbers, this could literally be drone wars. You think of drone wars, the Star Wars episode or movie. And this could be exactly what it's speaking of in Ezekiel 38. So the interesting thing. Now, as it relates to Israel being safe in the land, well, here is a Zero Hedge article. They're not safe in the land. Hezbollah tries to down Israeli fighter jets with anti-aircraft missiles. So Iran is even upping the ante and supplying. Now that, Hamas is basically taken out for all intents and purposes, and they're on their back foot, they're on their heels. Iran is providing more advanced weapons to Hezbollah. Now Hezbollah is going after Israeli aircraft with anti-aircraft missiles. There's been another alarming first in the ongoing Israel-Hezbollah conflict, which has been raging since October 7th. In parallel with the Gaza war, Israel media has revealed that a cell of Hezbollah operatives attempted to down an Israeli fighter jet operating over the region. On Sunday, the Israeli jet was flying over southern Lebanon when the group launched anti-aircraft missiles at it. The jet escaped unscathed, but the Israeli Defense Forces confirmed the incident as a significant development for which it retaliated. So you can see, the flares that this plane in the image there to the left top of it, it's sending out flares because that's going to distract any heat-seeking anti-aircraft missiles, for example, that are going after the heat of the engines. So that's one way to defend against that. So they have the ability to defend against it. This is just the first time they've seen that particular advanced weaponry that Hezbollah has. And now the news coming out of Israel and Gallant apparently is that they're gearing up for a significant offensive against Hezbollah, as Hezbollah is ramping up attacks. And so I think once they clean up Gaza, again, this is, Psalm 38, you take care of the inner circle and then you can take care of the outer circle, right? So right now they're taking care of the inner circle of nations in Psalm 83. and they'll start going after the outer circle later, the Irans and the Turkeys, and the other nations that are against Israel. But they gotta take out the folks close to their borders right now, so they don't pose a threat when they do go to all at war against Iran or whomever it may be, right? So the next step after Gaza would be Hezbollah, and they've come out and suggested, that is the next step. They're gearing up for that. It's going to be more complicated because Hezbollah has a lot more advanced rockets and hundreds of thousands of them, supposedly. And now we're seeing, the advanced anti-aircraft missiles also. So much more technologically capable than the Hamas fighters in Gaza. And that's going to be trouble for Israel. There's going to be a lot of lives lost by the IDF. But you know what? It will get to a point when the IDF can no longer push back the onslaught of nations coming against it. And when this great cloud, this mighty army comes from over Israel in Ezekiel 38, the IDF won't be able to do anything. But God's going to show his power through that. When Israel says, you know what, we can't do this, we need a miracle, and they're going to call upon God. And God will give them a miracle, and they will survive through that. And the people of the earth, the Gentiles, all the other nations will know that the God of Israel is in command and control. So that's a very fascinating thing, that we are getting close to that, and maybe we're seeing a fulfillment of Psalm 83, the inner ring of nations, being addressed right now, and then the next step would be that outer circle of nations. So I may go over that in another video where we look at Psalm 83 and look at is that going to be fulfilled. I think Isaiah 17, the destruction of Damascus, is also a significant one where nuclear weapons are likely used, because Damascus will become a ruinous heap, and it will not be inhabited anymore. And that suggests that there's fallout or radiation or something there. So it could well be that Israel gets to the point where they are starting to use tactical nukes, just like Russia is threatening in Ukraine. Once the first tactical nuke is used, then all the countries of the world will be able to use tactical nukes, because the precedent will be set. The public will be numb to the use of them, and it will increase from there to possibly thermonuclear war, World War III, which again, as I've always stated, is the perfect setup, the perfect grounds for the Antichrist to come to power and to say peace, peace, and to bring in that peace deal, and to quote unquote save the world from everything that's befallen there. So thanks for watching, folks. I'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next video.